Now, when it comes to WordPress, we all know that you can install plugins, use code snippets to do lots of different things. But there are times where you may want to have your own dedicated plugin to do something that you may use a code snippet or an external plugin for, but you want it tweaked just a little bit differently. I'm going to show you how you can do that for yourself today. So if you're thinking, whoa, Paul, I have no idea how to create a plugin and it sounds incredibly complicated, let me put your mind at rest. It's actually much easier than you may think. So let's take a look at a couple of ways in which you can approach this without needing to actually write code yourself. Now, during this video, we're going to be doing two different methods. We're going to use ChatGPT, and we're also going to take a look at online code generators and how we can use both of these to leverage their power and resources to create customized code that we can then turn into its own dedicated plugin. Now, first of all, I'm going to be using the desktop version of ChatGPT, but you can use the online version. And to be honest, you could probably get away with using the free version as well. I'm using paid, but I don't think you need to use that. Now, if you're a Mac user, you can install ChatGPT onto your desktop and integrate it with your workflow very easily. Head over to the link that's in the description down below, download for the Mac OS, install it, connect it to your account, and then you are good to go. Okay, so now we can start asking ChatGPT to do things for us. So let's just ask it to get ready. So the first thing I do is ask it, I tell it that I need to create a WordPress plugin to handle some simple tasks. In this example, they are going to be simple, but you can make these more complex if you need to. So I want this to create a options page inside the dashboard of WordPress that allows me to put some business information, things like your business name, email address, and so on. Pretty simple, but like I say, a great starting point. So once you do that, let's hit enter or return, asking ChatGPT, and said, yep, we can handle that, no problem at all. Now we're going to tell it what we needed to do. Now, the thing with this is you're not always going to get exactly what you want on the first prompt. So sometimes you are going to need to tweak this a little bit. But the beauty of having something like ChatGPT is that you can tweak that code as you go along. So now we've got ChatGPT ready. We're now going to tell it exactly what we want to create. Now, the most important thing here with anything to do with any kind of AI is that you are very specific in what you want. We wanted to create a WordPress options page to hold the relevant data for the following custom fields. And then I just outline the actual fields that I want to use. Once we're happy with that, we can hit enter or return one more time. And that's now going to go and create the code and do all the various different things that we need. And obviously, like I say, if we need to change it afterwards, we can do. So let's let that generate the code for us. And there we go. After a few moments, we now have our code. And as you can see, we've got the opening information to tell it the basic info that this is a WordPress plugin. And we'll see that information inside the dashboard of WordPress when we use this. Then we've got all the information broken down, fully commented to tell us exactly what each of these functions is going to do. So we can go through it, we can check anything inside there. If you're comfortable with coding, you can double check to make sure everything is safe and sound. And then if you want to, you can come down and it tells you how it works and how to go and install it. So let's copy this. And now we need to go into some kind of way of creating the files that we need and either uploading them or working with them on the server itself. Now you could use something like VS Code if you want to, but for this example, I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm using InstaWP, so I'm going to use their code editor to be able to create the folders and create the file structure. But the process is exactly the same no matter what tool or tools you use. So here's the file structure for my demo site. And what we need to do is come into the WP content folder. And inside there, we're going to drop down into plugins. You see all my plugins are created inside there. Now, if you created this separately, you just need to create a folder. That's the name of the actual plugin you want to create and one file. And then you can upload that as a zip file and it'll work in exactly the same kind of way. All we're going to do is we're going to right click on this folder and say new folder. We're going to call this WP Business Options. So there's our folder. We're going to select that folder, right click and choose a new file. I'm going to call this the same. So WP-business details.php. That's the most important thing. This is a PHP file, so you need to make sure that you end it with .php. And I would recommend trying to avoid any kind of spaces. Either use a dash like I've done or an underscore. We'll click OK. There's our file. And now all we need to do is simply paste in that code from ChatGPT. We'll scroll to the top. Where we've got this basic info, we'll just change that from your name and we'll just pop in my details. And you can see we've got plugin name, business options page or business info options page. We'll leave that as it is. If you want to put a description, you can do that. All those kinds of good things. Once we're happy, we're simply going to come to File and choose Save. And we're done. Now we just need to go back into our WordPress dashboard. And if you've done this externally using like VS Code, just simply zip that up, upload it in the same way you would any other plugin for WordPress, and then you can access that. And there we go, right at the top, there's our business info options page. You can see there's the description that we put in at the top of our file. There's the version number and who created it. So all we need to do now is activate this. And then like any other plugin inside WordPress, this is now added that code to WordPress and we can interact with it. So there's our business info. Click to open that up. And you can see I've already put some information inside there, but there's our info. We can hit save changes and we've now created our first plugin. Now, if you're getting value from this video and you'd like to be kept up to date as I release new content every single week, why not hit that subscribe button down below and you'll be notified when new content is added to the channel. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So that's pretty cool and pretty easy. But let's say you don't have or don't want to use something like ChatGPT. You don't want to use AI. You'd rather use something that's dedicated to generating code for specific functions in WordPress. Well, this is where you could use something like GenerateWP, a website that has lots of free tools to do lots of common things when it comes to WordPress and generate the relevant code for it. Obviously, if you want some of the different features, there are some locked behind a pro paywall and you would need to pay for those. So it's up to you if you want those. But let's take a quick look at how this generates the code and how we can work with this instead of using AI. So first of all, we've got select a tool, fill in the form, and then generate the code. It really is pretty simple. If we scroll down, you can see there are various different types of tools and generators here. So things to do with admin, so a toolbar generator, dashboard widget generator, and so on. As you can see, some of these are locked behind that premium paywall. But let's say you wanted to create something as simple as a new custom post type or taxonomy. You can do that and it doesn't cost you anything. So we come into something like content. You can see there's our post type generator. If we choose that from the list, now all we need to do is fill out the relevant details. So you can see if we go into general, we can say what the custom post type name is. Is it child theme? Is it use a text domain? Any post type, you can fill out your relevant information there, your labels. So all the kinds of things, if you used to work in something like Metabox or ACF, all this basic data is exactly the same. So you can fill out what is relevant to you. And once you've done that, you'll see we say update the code. There's our updated code. Now, all we need to do is copy this. And once we've copied it, we do need to do one other thing because this is literally just the code. We don't have any of that nice information for WordPress itself to know what the actual plugin is called, all those kinds of good things. I'll put the code for this down below so you can see how to use it, but effectively, all you need to do is start things off with this command. Use the PHP opening function, like you can see at the top, and then we've got these that are commented out so they don't affect the actual code, but WordPress picks this information up and uses that inside the WordPress dashboard. That's where you'll see this information, the name of the plugin, the description of the plugin, the version number, and who created it. You can add additional information inside there if you want to, but this is the basics that I would recommend. Then all you need to do is grab that code from GenerateWP or whatever tool you use, go into your PHP file that we've created, and simply paste that code inside there underneath this first opening block, like so. And then you've got everything in place. You just need to save it. And like I say, if you've done that like I've done, just save it and it's done, or upload it as a zip file, including the folder structure and everything else up to WordPress itself. It is that simple and straightforward. But the beauty of this is that you can use a generator like we've just seen, or AI like we've just seen, and you can have more than one function inside your plugin. So you can have multiple different functions inside a single plugin. The nice thing with this is you could easily upload this to any site that you're working on and have all of those starter changes that you've set up inside here, inside your own custom plugin, to take effect on every single WordPress website as you launch it. It's a pretty cool way of working, and another option, another tool in your tool belt that allows you to customize WordPress itself in a multitude of different ways. Well, hopefully you found this video useful. And if you want to find out more, all the links are in the description down below. Now, if you like this kind of content, you want to see more, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll create more content like this if enough people are interested. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts, and until next time, take care.